And so I just want to kind of throw that back over to you guys to kind of elaborate. But what are your thoughts in terms of where we are with 2024 upon us?
Do you want to go first, Emily? Or do you want me?
You go first. You
Okay.
go first, Captain. Go
All
on.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So to me, 2024 corresponds to the actual ending of the original sacred calendars,
Yes.
the Mayan, the ancient
Yes.
Egyptian, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And that is the reason why nothing happened 12 years ago in 2012 was because we have been using the wrong timekeeping system. That's how much we
Correct.
are into this deception. We don't even use the right system that is aligned with the natural cycles of the universe, you know, the stars, the planets, the central sun,
Yes.
and of course the menstrual cycle of a woman. You know, we're technically supposed to have 13 months and 28 days according to the original sacred calendar. So to me, this is the year that is going to initiate what many have come to understand as the Great Awakening. It is going to hit critical mass, but you know, we also have to have discernment. We also have to have discernment knowing that the veil is lifting. And as the veil continues to lift, well, guess what? The ETs that have always been living among us are going to be more visible to the general public. And so therefore, we're probably going to have more sightings. And what I want everyone to know is that there is no external savior, you know. And even within the disclosure community, they're pushing the idea that the Anunnaki were our, you know, genetic progenitors, and that is not true, and that they are returning to save us. No one's coming from the sky to save no one, guys. We are it.
Yeah.
Every single one of you guys is a divine being, you know, a sleeping giant, a god and goddess that is currently under hypnosis, and we have to snap out of that and get to understand who we are as divine eternal beings of light, because we are so powerful. And then once we begin to understand that we begin to do the inner work. When we see, there's nothing wrong with duality. You know, even Lucifer had a role to play. Even the reptilians have a role to play. Duality is also a concept that exists within each and every single one of us. We all have the shadow. We all have the ego. So it's not about slaying. It's about taming it. It's about that balance, that integrating point, that point of equilibrium where it is back to the balance. Right now, we've been out of balance, obviously. And, you know, that has ushered in the age of darkness, of course. But now we are ending that age because it's coming back to recalibration.
Right.
And so we have to realize that each and every single one of you guys, whether you have done the work or not, this is the time to begin to do the work, because as more CMEs keep coming in from the galactic core via our sun, well, guess what? It's going to start to activate your subtle bodies, your energy vehicles. And if you haven't done the inner work, it's going to be very difficult for you to transform into your new avatar. And so that's that's why it's important to discern, you know, to have discernment, right? To not buy into this what they call new age agenda of an external alien savior, and realize that we are the ones that were sent. Every single starseed out there is the savior sent to the lower dimensions to embody a human avatar in order to transmute the collective density of the planet.
Yeah.
So
I just want to quickly jump in there before I forget my trail of thought. So you've mentioned a few things that is very key, and a lot of people don't necessarily have integrated it or understand it. So you touched on duality, and it's so important to people for everyone to understand that duality is the very experience that Source Prime Creator put out there, so it can experience itself, the dark versus the light.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you take one position and you hardline yourself in that one position. What Ishmael talked about, and it's very important to try and visualize this, if you think of the infinity sign, it's important to bring yourself to a point of neutrality, the 0 point, which is where the intersection of those infinity sign crosses. If you picture then on one side is negative, the other side is positive. These are all the experiences that you experience throughout your incarnations in many places, whether it's negative or positive. How you react determines the outcome of your further experience in your incarnation. But if you just move yourself to the 0 point, where that intersection is, that actually is the optimal point where Source Prime Creator exists, because it observes the negative and it observes the positive, but it doesn't necessarily absorb or get triggered by it, right? So if you can find yourself in a situation, let's say, for instance, you're driving and somebody's giving you, it has cut you off, or somebody came across your way and said something negative. Rather than reacting, observe, because the other aspect of it all is that ultimately, because we're all connected, that is another version of yourself that's being reflected back to you. So you look for the lessons. You look as to, am I going to get triggered? Am I going to react? Rather than reacting or getting triggered, find that intersection point, stay in neutrality, and just carry on with your observation and not absorption of your beautiful existence.